Hi, my name is Kimatina, and this screencast will give you an overall introduction of Google Drawings. So first, Google Drawings is just like any other Google file type. It lives in your Google Drive. So you need to go to your Google Drive after you sign into your account and click on the New button, go down to More, and select Google Drawings. And this Google Drawings will open and you'll see this canvas show up. The first thing that you should do is rename your file, because right now the file is named Untitled Drawn. So if you click on that, and it'll be highlighted, and just give it a name and hit enter, it will be renamed. Okay, and you can see that it saved it as the file name is now called Demo. Okay, the next thing that you should do, and this is just my opinion, is change your background, because right now your background is transparent because it shows the checkered boxes. When you see a checkered box background, that means that image is going to be transparent. So if you right click on the image canvas and click background, you can select a solid color. You can go back in and select a gradient style. And it just gives you more creativity. So for this example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select a solid color, and I'm going to select gray. Okay. So one thing that you need to realize is that with Google Drawings, it's another Google file type. So a lot of the features that are in these menus will be familiar to you. So in the File menu, all of these features here, or these options, are going to be similar or the same as in any other Google file. So I'm not going to really go over this. The Edit menu is the same thing. It's basically has the same options available in this menu as in any other Google file. So what we're going to start with is the Insert menu. And in the Insert menu, you have these choices here. And what I'm going to do first is insert a text box. So when I click on that, my arrow turns into a crosshair, and I can just click anywhere on the drawing, and a text box will show up. Now I can type in my information and start typing. All right. Now, what I want to show you next is how you can format this information. So formatting means changing the look or the appearance of the object. So what I'm going to do is highlight everything in my text box. I'm going to do Control A. And when I highlight the text, I get more tools available to me here. Okay, so I can change the font. I can make the text larger. I can bold it. And if I click on bold again, it will remove that format feature. Same with italic. I can click on italic and it will italic the text. I can underline it. I can change the color of it, and I can highlight it if I wanted to. Okay, so there's some formatting features here that you may need. If I wanted to just format the second line, I can do that. We'll just use this type, and I'll change this color, and I will remove the highlighted. So you can see here that I have text formatted in different styles. Now, when I click on the text box, I also have the option to align my text. So I can left justify, center justify, right justify, or full justify. So center, right, okay, and then full will align it that way as well. All right, I can also change the spacing of my line. So if I wanted to double space, I can do that. All right, if I wanted to go back to single space, I'm going to have to highlight it, click on single space, and you can see it adjusts it. If I wanted to add bulleted items in here, I can click on this icon here and it'll bullet my information. If I click on the numbered list, it will number my information as well. All right, so you have that flexibility on how you want to format your text. Another thing that I want to show you here is if you click on insert, you can hit image. And you can insert an image from your computer. You can search the web just like you would if you were using Google search. I can search for images in Drive, in my photos, via URL, or simply take a picture. So what I'm going to do here is I will search the web, and I'm going to type in sunflowers, and I can pick an image and hit insert, and it will insert that image into my Google Drawing. Now I have an image, and in this image, I can format it differently than I would in a text box. So I'm going to click on the image, and notice here I have a crop in tool. So if I click on the arrows, I can crop this image so that I can make it more focused on this larger flower if I wanted to. Okay, so cropping will allow me to shrink or condense or focus more on a specific object in the picture. I can also shape my crop. Okay, so they call it mask image. So if I click on the little down arrow here next to my crop image, I can give it a different style or look. So I'm going to select shapes, I'm going to select a circle, and now it cropped my picture into a circle. So that's a pretty cool feature to know. The next thing that I want to show you is inserting a shape. Okay, so I have all of these shapes that I can insert into my drawing file. And when I insert a shape, okay, I still get the tools that are available to me here in the menu bar. All right, and when I click on it, I can change the fill or the inside color of the shape. So you can click on the fill bucket, select the color that you want. I can also click on the color here, the pencil, excuse me, and that will change the color of the border of the shape. So let's just make it red. So you can see that it is now outlined in red. If I wanted to change the border thickness, okay, the lower the number, the thinner the line's going to be. So I'm going to make it 8, and you can see that it changed the whole appearance of that shape. So those 3 icons here will help you redefine or format your shape. Okay. Another thing that I can do here is I can change the border style. So I can make it a dashed line. All right. I can make it a whole different style. So you have that option available here as well. Okay. The next thing in the insert menu that I want to show you is word art. So word art is going to be a little bit different than a text box because it's going to stand out a little bit more, as you can see here. Okay, I can still format word art as well. I can, resize it. I can format it as well. So as long as I click on it, I have these tools available to me. I'm going to change the color of the fill. I'm going to change the color of the border, and I'm going to change the thickness of it. Okay, so I can change and format the word art. I can change the font as well. Okay, so you can have a lot of fun with word art. Another thing that you can do is rotate your object. So you can rotate your object any way you want. All right, and this goes for shape. You just have to click on it and then click on that top circle anchor. I call it an anchor. and just drag and move it around so you can rotate accordingly. Okay, so that's word art. The next thing that I want to show you is the line tool. So the line tool can be used really differently, okay? You just have to think out of the box. So I'm going to draw a line, all right? And, you know, I have my lines here, all right? And you can see immediately that my pointer turned into a crosshair, and that's how you can tell that I'm in the line tool. Now, when I click on the line, so I'm going to go back up here to my toolbar and click on the arrow to select the line, okay? Okay, so as I was saying, what I wanted to show you now is the line tool. So if you click on insert and go to line, you can insert all of these different types of lines, okay? So I can insert a line that has an arrowhead. I can insert a line that has an elbow connector, all right? And I'm just clicking and dragging, and you can see that my line is there. Now, when a line is highlighted, I have different formatting options available to me. I can change the line start style of the line. So now you can see there's an arrow at the start of the line, and I can change the style of the arrow at the end of the line, and now it's a dot. Okay, so you do have the option here to style your lines differently if you needed to. All right. I can also change as well the thickness of the line. All right, I can change the color of the line. Those formatting features are still the same as if it was a shape, okay? It's just now we're talking about lines, okay? I can stretch it out by dragging on it, all right? And I can move it if I wanted to. Oops, I can move it if I wanted to, okay? What I want to do here is I want to delete this black line. So when you want to use the select tool, that's going to allow you to select an object. So I'm going to click on that select tool, click the black line, and hit delete on my keyboard. So I have a little bit more room. All right. Now, the nice thing about the line tool is it will allow you to insert lines on objects and connect them to different objects. So I am going to change my line to an arrow style. And you can see now I started using the toolbar as a shortcut, all right, for my line menu. But you can certainly go into the line menu as well, okay? So what I'm going to do is click on the line arrow button, and I'm going to, whoops, when I click on the line arrow, now, sorry, okay, when I hover over an object, you can see that the anchors show up on that object. That's going to allow me to put or anchor my line on the center point of that object. That's why my crosshairs are visible, and when I hover over an object, I get all of these little anchors around it. So I'm going to use this shape here as an example. So I'm going to click on it, and now my arrow anchored into that point of the shape, on the shape. And now I can drag this arrow over to another point on another object. So if I wanted to put it here toward my text box or even toward my flower, I can do that. I can take this shape and drag it, all right, and move it over, all right. If I wanted to take this line and use the anchor on a different spot of the shape, I can do that as well. All right, so again, I'm going to change the thickness of the line. I'm going to change the color of the line. All right, just so you can see, I'm going to change the line end to a different style. Okay, so you can do all that as well. All right, so the line tool has a lot of possibilities. Another thing in the line tool that you can do is scribble. So you can scribble and make your own line, all right, using the mouse or your finger if you have a touch screen. Okay, so that feature is available as well. I'm going to delete it just so we have extra room here on the canvas. All right. The next thing that I want to show you here is layering your objects. Okay, so if I have the word art object, and you can see how it's layered on top of the shape, all right, that's called an order. All right, so what if I wanted my shape to appear first or in front of word art? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going, there's a couple different ways you can do this, but what I do is I take my object and I drag it over, all right, where I want to put it, and then I'll click on that current or that top object and right click on it, and you can see here there is an option for order, and I'm going to hit send back, and you can see now that my shape is in front of my word art. So you can play around with the order of objects as well, so that you get a feel for you know, a look or a feel for what you're trying to portray here. All right, so I'm going to move my word art back to the front. Okay, so I'm going to right click on word art, and let me move this down. I'm going to right click on word art, and I'm going to hit order, and I'm going to say bring to the front, and now it is in front of my shape. All right. Another thing that I wanted to show you is resizing this canvas. Okay, so if you go into the file menu and you go to page setup, you can select a different file page setup here, page settings. Okay, so if I go to custom and I want to make it like a piece of paper, I can make it 8.5 by 11. And now it'll adjust the size of my canvas. So if you're going to create a book or a book cover or an infographic or maybe a flyer, and you know the page setup and the page dimensions, you're going to want to do that first, okay, not toward the end of your drawing. You want to do that first in the beginning, okay, because you can see here once I adjusted my page setup, it did adjust the images and the pictures, so they're not as adjusted to the orientation as they were before. So you need to make sure that you adjust your page setup in the beginning, not at the end. Let's see, what else is there to show you? You can do diagrams in here, you can do charts in here. Okay, so just say, for example, I have this shape, okay, and I want to group this shape with my sunflower. So all I want to do is I'm going to highlight that. All right, so let me resize my sunflower. Let me move my shape down. Let me get my word art out of the way. All right, now all I have to do to group these things, because you can see right now they're independent, okay? And in order for me to group them, I have to highlight all of the objects that I want to group. So I'm going to click and drag and highlight everything. And this object seems to be getting in the way, so let me move this out of the way. And I can, by the way, I can move objects off to the side as well. So now I'm going to click and drag and highlight everything, and now all of the objects within this blue box are highlighted. and I want to group them. So I can right click, oops, all right, and I'm gonna make sure you're inside the box or on one of the shapes or objects when you right click. And I'm gonna group. And now when I group something, I can move multiple objects at one time, okay? And this is great because if you're trying to align an object a certain way and you want to carry that same pattern throughout your drawing, you're going to want to group those objects so that they're exactly the same, okay? And if I want to ungroup, all I do is right click and I select ungroup, okay? So now they're independent objects again, all right? So again, I'm going to highlight everything, and I can actually go into the arrange menu as well, and I can group in there. And now I can move this object. So these three objects are considered one object now that they're grouped. And again, I can rotate this, okay, I can resize it, all right, and I have my grouped object. Let's see here. You can do diagrams in here if you wanted to. So you can do timelines. You can pick all different types of timeline styles, and you have all of that information in here. And all you'd have to do is just really edit the text and for your needs. So the diagrams are great to have as a template if you needed to do any type of diagram in that respect. Same with charts. You can do a chart in here, or you can import a chart from a Google Sheet. You can insert a table. So a table is basically rows and columns. So this is let me do an example here. So this is gonna be 1 row by 3 columns, okay? And this is your table. So let me select it, let me get it out of here. Okay, and now I have a table, all right? And you may wanna use this as well. And I can format the table. Again, I can change the border color, I can change the border thickness, I can fill it if I wanted to. So there's a lot of different things in here that you can do. But basically, all of the formatting features are available to you when you click on an object. Now, in order for you to get this saved, okay, remember Google saves all of your information when you make a change to a file, but you may want to download this Google Drawing as a picture, okay? So in order to do that, you go to File, Download, and you're going to select PNG, and it's going to save that file to your local device, okay? And when you open that, it will show you what your picture is, okay, that you created in Google Drawings. It's just a PNG file now. And you can take this PNG file and upload it into OnCourse or into your Google Classroom assignment, or you can attach this Google Drawing file to your OnCourse or Google Classroom assignment. So I know that was a lot of work or a lot of information at once, but if there's any questions about how to use Google Drawings, you can always ask your teacher or ask me. All right, I hope you found this helpful.